Now for our guided practice for the distance formula. So, distance formula, remember, again, distance equals the square root of x2 minus x1 in parentheses squared plus y2 minus y1 in parentheses squared. So if you need to label your x's and your y's, go ahead and do so. We're finding the distance of VW. So square root, parentheses -4 minus 2, close parentheses squared, plus parentheses 8 minus -1 squared. And this is what we get. And again, remember that we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So again, this is the tenths place, so we need to look behind it, and that's a 1. So it stays the same, so we have 10.8. Our next one, we're using the Pythagorean theorem to find our distance between our 2 points. So first off, we're looking at AB. So remember again, trace along your grid lines. And the point where those two intersect is where we're counting 2. So from A to that point, it's 2 boxes, it's 2 units. From that point to B is 5 units. So 2 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. 2 squared is 4. 5 squared is 25 equals c squared. 4 plus 25 is 29 equals c squared. Take the square root of that. And we get that. But remember, we need to round to the nearest tenth. Remember, this is our 10th spot. So we need to look behind it. And it's greater than 5, so we are rounding up. So we have 5.4 for our length for AB. Now we need to find our length for CD. So again, I'm going to trace my grid lines. Point where they intersect is where we are counting to. So from C to that point, we have 4. And from that point to D, we have 2. So 4 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. 4 squared is 16 plus 2 squared, which is 4, equals c squared. 16 plus 4 is 20. Take the square root of both sides. Okay, and this is what we get in our calculator. Remember that we are rounding to the nearest tenth, so we got to look behind, and that's a 7. So we're rounding up, so we have 4.5 equals our length for CD. Please make sure that when you're working today, and if you're using a graphing calculator, that that square root symbol goes across all of your work in your calculator.